We have 2 awards for National Political Program. The first goes to Face the Nation with Margaret Brennan, moderated by CBS News Chief Foreign Affairs Correspondent Margaret Brennan and executive produced by Mary Hager. Judges praised Brennan's concerted efforts to combat disinformation. She pushes back and puts guests in the hot seat in a fair and respectful manner. Margaret Brennan and the Face the Nation team remind their viewers that an inability to accept electoral defeat is not the norm and puts our democracy at risk. Here she is with CBS News Chief Washington Correspondent Major Garrett and election integrity contributor David Becker.
How dangerous is the moment that we are in?
It feels more dangerous, Margaret, than any I've encountered in covering politics at the national level since 1990. Stating what clearly happened in 2020, it wasn't a fraudulent election, no crime was committed. That doesn't mean you have to be happy with the result, but one of the burdens of democracy is when you're unhappy with the result, your obligation is to win the next election, not slander baselessly the election you fairly lost. Mm-hmm. And we have a component of American politics now that wants to slander an election that was fairly lost because they're unhappy. And that unhappiness does not entitle you to drag down American democracy, because if, Margaret, we enter a phase in American life where either political party refuses to accept a fair and verified election simply because it lost, then we will dismantle democracy bit by bit before our very eyes.
One of our colleagues here, Nicole Skenga, interviewed Kim Wyman. She is the senior election security lead at part of Homeland Security. She spent 30 years working in elections out in the state of Washington. And in this interview, she clearly is feeling that this threat is hitting home. Take a listen.
Some of the threats are real, you know, we're going to hang you, I hope somebody puts a bullet in your head, that kind of thing. So it's unnerving. It's unnerving.
It's a Homeland Security official being moved to tears by what she is talking about. I mean, it's extremely powerful to me to hear that. How common is that right now?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's very common. She, like so many of her colleagues, and she's seeing this because she's working with them, are facing an onslaught of threats and harassment and abuse in the aftermath of the 2020 election that is completely divorced from the reality of their success. The election professionals all over the country, red states, blue states, Republicans, Democrats, somehow managed the highest turnout we have ever seen in American history in the middle of a global pandemic.
Margaret Brennan is unable to join us today, but we're glad to have this video message from her.
And thank you to Mary Hager, who is an institution unto herself and an incredible partner to me as we navigate these tumultuous political waters of the moment. I am grateful to USC Annenberg for this recognition today. Team Face the Nation strives each and every Sunday to carry on the legacy of CBS icon Walter Cronkite, and we're honored to receive this recognition in his name. I believe that information is the currency of this democracy, and the quality of the information that voters take in impacts how they engage with it. Every week, we strive to illuminate key issues and to cut through an increasingly crowded news environment with clarity, context, and civil conversations. Low-confidence societies with weak institutions are ripe for misinformation and for manipulation. And that is why we think of the hour we have on Sundays as a chance to earn and rebuild trust in the institution that is journalism. We have to rebuild it. That means our interviews increasingly require on-the-spot fact-checking and pushback against distortion, which means hours of research and preparation are an essential part of the build-up each week to the 1 hour of live programming that you see on Sunday mornings. Our hope is to inform opinions, not just affirm pre-existing ones. There are a lot of tough issues right now, and I hope we can continue the 69-year-old tradition at Face the Nation of fair, respectful, and sometimes uncomfortable questioning of those in power. So a special thank you to all the producers, editors, and support team that put together Face the Nation.
And accepting the award for Face the Nation in person, executive producer Mary Hager.
Thank you all so much for this. I'm honored to be here on behalf of Margaret, who is with her family this week and lamenting the fact that she's not here, but also really lamenting the fact that there's this big, juicy political story that is unfolding on our watch, and she cannot be here to moderate the show on Sunday. So we'll handle that, but she really does wish she could be here. I do want to thank the Face the Nation team, because it truly is a team effort every single Sunday, all the work that we put into the show. And I want them to stand and go ahead, and I will acknowledge them. And also there are a few of them that cannot be here, but senior broadcast producer Ann Shue, senior editorial producer Avery Miller, senior booking producer Carol Joint, coordinating producer Jake Miller, supervising producer Dina Fry, producers Richard Escobedo, Claire Moran, and Kelsey Miklas. Associate producers Jake Rosen and Sierra Sanders, broadcast associate Sophia Barkoff, studio tech manager Laura Ferran, who is responsible for getting all these characters on the air every Sunday, as well as our brand new intern, Erica Love, who we are very happy to have helping us this summer. Plus, in the back, Hugo Rojo and Amanda Leonard, who are our fantastic comms team who help us get our message out to the public. We also are very lucky and blessed to have the strongest political reporters in the business. They all contribute to the role that we play in being able to devote the time and space to focusing on the issues like democracy and crying foul when it comes to misinformation. Just a handful of them, but Major Garrett, Rob Legary, Finn Gomez, Ed O'Keefe, Robert Costa, Scott McFarland, Anthony Salvanto, Arden Fari, Rebecca Kaplan, Aaron Navarro, and David Becker, as well as Nicole Skanga. We just really appreciate all that they do for us. It does take a team effort to put this show together, and we really appreciate the honor. Thank you.